Hi guys, welcome back to another baking series, baking until we make it. Today we are going to be making bread, and if you're new to this channel, what I do is just teaching myself how to bake and how to work my way around pastries. So hit that follow button and join us on this growth journey. Now for our bread baking, the first thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be adding milk to my egg, and I also went in with half teaspoon of salt, and I added in lukewarm water. So my water is not too hot and it's not too cold. You can see me, I'm just using my finger to test it just to make sure that the temperature of the water is good. So once that is correct, next I went in with a spoon of sugar. I'm going to mix that properly, and next I'm going in with my yeast. So I mix the yeast together. I'm going to be covering this up and I'll just leave it to sit for about 2 to 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, I came back to check it and I can see my yeast is proof and ready to go. So next I'm going to be adding in 3 cups of flour into this mixture, and I'm going to be mixing this. You can see I was being very careful with my flour here because I don't want my flour too running or too strong. So I was being very careful about the amount of flour or liquid I use in this. So after mixing my flour, I noticed I need a little bit of water, so I just went in with cold water and I kept on mixing that bit by bit. Next, I transferred my flour dough into my work surface. So I just added a little bit of dry flour on my work surface. So I put the dough on my work surface and I continue kneading. Once it gave me this stretchy consistency, I went in with my butter, and I'm just going to continue mixing this until it forms completely. So while kneading this with the butter, it was quite messy. At some point I was worried that it wasn't going to give me the result I want, but well, as you can see, we are doing good. Okay, so I kept mixing this and it gave me the perfect result. Once this was ready, I put that back into my bowl. Now I'm going to be adding groundnut oil around this dough just so it's easy for me to lift up the bowl once it has completely proved. So I added groundnut oil around this and I left it for about 30 to 40 minutes just so it could prove properly. Now after 30 minutes, I came back to my dough and this is what I have. You can see it has properly proved. So yes, our yeast did a very good job. Now I'm going to be punching the air out of this, and I'm just going to be cutting it into smaller batches. So I cut this into 4. I'm going to be doing this into 2 different types just because I want to have the experience of how the normal bread will look like and also how the sardine bread will look like if I was going to try this recipe again. So I first cut out a part and I just rolled that around together into a ball. I'm doing this just so that it takes the shape of my pan and it doesn't come out looking ugly. You can see how stretchy my dough is. It's very stretchy, very elastic. So I'm so proud of myself at this point that I'm doing so good. So I just rolled this into a perfect ball shape and I kept that aside. And mind you, in my pan I added in butter. I spread the butter around with a brush, and I also put in flour over that butter. This is just so that I'll be able to remove my bread from the pan easily once it's ready. So I put my dough into the pan and I continue preparing the rest of the dough. Now for the sardine, after opening my sardine, I extracted the oil. I just made sure to take out the fish part only. So I broke that into small pieces and I put it into the center of the flour dough just like I'm doing in here. So once that is set, I'm going to lock this in properly to make sure that no space for the oil, that's the sardine oil, to seep out, nowhere for it to seep out. So I'm just going to keep on rolling this and make sure it is tightly knitted. Once that is done, I rolled that into a round ball and I kept it alongside the rest. So I just repeated the process for the other side. So I was making 2 sardine balls and also 2 bread balls, that's plain bread balls. So I put that into my air fryer and I left it for about 30 more minutes just so it can proof properly. Now after putting my bread balls into the pan, I went with egg wash just to cover the top of the bread. I honestly don't know why I did that, but I guess I'm just having fun with this at this point. So I put the egg wash all over the bread top and I left it into my air fryer to prove. So after 30 minutes I came back to it and my bread has properly proved and I think we're ready to bake. So now I'm going to be setting my air fryer into 150 degrees for 25 minutes. So this is the amount of heat I used for this bread. I didn't add more to it, neither did I do less. So this is exactly the amount I used. And after 25 minutes I came back to it and this is what we have. So I'm using my skewer to just test it, just to make sure that it's properly cooked to the bottom. So I don't know if the heat was a bit too high or maybe I could have done less heat. I feel like it's kind of burnt, but at the end of the day it came out perfect. It wasn't too bad and it was actually so great, as you can see in here. So just me being extra, I'm going to be using butter to rub around the top of the bread. You can see how shiny it is. For some reason I couldn't take a picture of this. I don't know, maybe because of the foil I used as the base, it was reflecting back to my camera, but I couldn't get a clean picture for this. But my bread is very soft, very succulent. You can see how beautiful this is. I was impressed. I wasn't even expecting it to be this good. What would you be rating me? What do you think? How good do you think I did with this? What are the mistakes you noticed in this recipe? Is there some things I need to change just in case if I'm going to repeat this recipe? Overall, I'm going to be rating myself a 9/10, and this is because the bread could have come out better than the color it is. So I feel like it's a little bit burnt and I could have done better with that. Will you be trying this recipe? Tell me your ratings in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on our next baking series, Baking Until We Make It. Bye guys!